I am going to review episode 8 of Sleepy Hollow entitled Necromancer. And I was all set to be like happy and just, the episode started with a fist bump between Abby and Ichabod. I thought, okay, we're off to a great start. Things are looking good. The horseman was still sauteing in the little holding cell. But I was ready for great things. The episode ends and I am annoyed. I don't like the turn that things just took. Okay, so Ichabod strikes me as the type of person who can justify everything that he does. And when I first started to review this show, the earlier episodes, I talked about how it was the Sin Eater, I believe. I made some type of comment about how Ichabod didn't really have a sin in that episode. There wasn't really any like black mark on him. So they tried to give him like a black mark in this episode, but not really. So they introduced Van Brunt. Excuse me if I'm saying it wrong, but I recognize him from the movie Sleepy Hollow. And so he and Katrina were engaged, but then Katrina didn't want him because she had a little something going on with Ichabod. But Ichabod was he was very, very shysty about it. And it's like the show tried to call him out on it through Abby, but it wasn't enough for me. Abby was like, you got game and all that stuff. And he was like, oh, I never had, nor did I try to have game, And then he presented him loving Katrina and basically wanting her as like a fight for women's rights. A woman shouldn't have to marry a man that she doesn't want to marry, instead of I was shysty, I wanted my best friend's girl. Just like a justification for his behavior, basically. So the horseman needles him, tries to get under his skin by saying that, he killed his best friend. Like, did you tell your witness what happened to your last partner? And so he was like, no, I didn't kill him. So he tells Abby the story. And then he's like, Van Brunt's ego and arrogance and the Hessians killed him. And I'm like, maybe you shouldn't be speaking so ill of the dead, considering the part that you played. I mean, no, he didn't kill Abraham, but at the same time, in the flashback, he's like, oh, I didn't know until yesterday that she loved me. I did not know. 3 sentences later, we want your blessing. Are you serious? I was looking at him like, really, Ichabod, are you serious? I wanted to take a moment of silence to just look at him, because he's just, I just want to call him an asshole. Like, are you serious? So, they get into a duel, whatever. This man, Ichabod Crane, is going to get Abby killed. That was what I thought when his friend got shot and lay dying. And I think Abraham said, leave me. And Ichabod said, we have to deliver the declaration. Like, instead of saying, no, I'm not going to leave you. We need to save you. You need to live. There's no way I'm going to leave you. Some kind of guilt because this fight happened, because he was going behind Abraham's back and helping Katrina cheat or whatever. His parting words, rallying cry, is, we need to deliver the declaration. And then he just leaves the dude. This dude is going to get Abby killed. Like, he's so one-track minded. And so he goes to hide, watches Abraham die, and then he just leaves. And then he has the nerve to be looking kind of sorry, but then not really, because then he just blames Abraham's death on him and the Hessians, right? It's not his fault, it's not his fault, it's not his fault. Fast forward to when he finds out that Abraham is the Hessian, and suddenly, oh, I did it. It was my fault. It's like, Abby nailed it with his arrogance. Really? It wasn't your fault when he just died a simple death. But now that he's a supernatural and it's part of the big fight in the apocalypse, now you want to take credit for it and angst and take on the burden and make yourself some kind of martyr. Like, take on more to complain about. That is not attractive. It's really not. When the man just died, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. He did it. His arrogance and the Hessians. Now he's the horseman. Oh, what was the word he used? I betrayed his honor or some crap like that. He needed to be quiet and sit down. And I feel like this show is not calling him out on it enough. And they were blaming Abraham for his death. Ichabod said to him when he realized, he's the horseman, he's like, you sold your soul to the devil. I'm like, no, I saw the flashback. That man was unconscious. And it's not a case of, unreliable narrators where, Ichabod said it, but he's wrong because we saw the truth. That's not what they're doing, because then Abby goes ahead and says, people make their own choices. But Abraham didn't make a choice. The man saw Moloch and passed the hell out. And then they shaved his head, dressed him, branded him, and that was that. He didn't have a choice. He didn't make a choice. And the show's not going to go back later, I don't believe, and say that, have Abby and Ichabod realize that they were wrong. They're not, because what did they say? So suddenly, this is just took a turn for the stupid, and I know I'm going to be annoyed from here on out, because they just went and put Katrina at the center of this. And it's not that I have something against, like, a woman is at the center on principle. It's just that they usually do it wrong, and they usually do it very, very, very lazily. I remember people complaining about Katrina, like, too much focus on Katrina, and, of course I wasn't watching at the time, but this was actually a very lazy way to make Katrina important. Are you serious? This is stupid. So, Moloch is the horseman is under the control of Moloch, but he got trapped because of Katrina, because Moloch somehow divined, maybe he's been watching him, that he loves Katrina, and then he was, Moloch was basically like eating popcorn and looking at the love triangle play between Abraham, Ichabod, and Katrina. He's like, oh, I'm gonna have, wait till he finds out something's gonna go bad, and I'm gonna trap one of them because I know they both love Katrina. Are you serious? Like, this is the horseman's drive. No, you should have kept him like a killing machine instead of trying to humanize him. Keep Braun human. Keep him in the past. Like, this was a look back into Ichabod's past, but he's still clean as a whistle. It would be one thing if he legit killed Abraham. Legit. But then the fight was happening. He was like, no, I do not challenge you. I put my sword down. I put my hat down. And he didn't want to take any part of it until he absolutely had to. And then, then Abraham gets shot. And it's like the whole time he's just a bystander. And so then Moloch is keeping Katrina trapped so that the horseman will do what he says, as if he's not Moloch and can't just make him do what he says. I mean, like, because I want to go into how, they're saying that Abraham sold his soul to the devil, as if, Moloch doesn't get you unless you sell your soul to him. But he didn't do that. Like, so can Moloch just get anyone as long as they're unconscious? Like, I don't. So Katrina is a prize now. She's a prize now. How did Moloch get her? I don't know. Do I want them to reveal it? No, because I'm not interested in this. So it's just dumb. So now there's a love triangle between the Horseman of Death, Ichabod, and Katrina. And then we end with Ichabod saying, so basically, and then when the horseman should have just stopped talking, because then he says, oh, Moloch gave me what I always wanted, revenge. And I'm like, when did you always want revenge? Huh? That 2-second fight during that 2-second fight with Ichabod, and then you passed out, that's when you always wanted revenge? Are you serious? So I was like, are you serious? This whole time, these centuries, I know he's been dead, but this man is still hung up on Katrina. Like, no, I don't want this. Take it back. Take it back. I don't want it. So Katrina's his prize, and he's not gonna get her until the end of days when he. So basically, it's. I mean, they already sold it to me with the whole. Oh, he doesn't know her. He doesn't know what kind of necklace she wants. You know, he's so extravagant. Whatever, whatever. Now he's like a legit creep who just wants to possess her. And then what is he gonna do? So it's just a big old bag of no, take it back. I don't want it. You should have gone with the other choice. Basically, just keep the horseman. We didn't need to humanize him. We didn't need his backstory. Just keep it. So yeah, he's not gonna get Katrina back until the end of days when he summons all the other horsemen, and that's when Moloch will release him and thus release her. And so then I don't know how Ichabod said. So yes, now Katrina is more. We need her now more than ever. How? She's trapped. I mean, I would get it if he. I thought he was gonna say, "Oh, there is a way to save her. There is a chance to save her." But he's like, "Now we need her more than ever." How are you gonna need her when she's the one who's trapped? So Andy was there. Nobody had any sympathy for him. I mean, Abby kind of did, but then, when push came to shove, she told Ichabod, if he starts mouthing off, just chop his head off. Ichabod didn't want to hear it because Andy was remorseful about selling his soul and all that stuff. It was kind of fine. But the highlight of this episode, I thought it was gonna be Ichabod, and Abby and all that stuff. No, the highlight was Miss Jenny and Irving. Let me know where we're standing on Jenny and Irving because I could possibly go there. I could possibly walk that path. So Jenny's out, then she gets apprehended and brought to the station. There were a couple of things in this episode that made no sense. Number one, it was Abby's idea to get Brooks so that he can talk to the horseman because he's dead. But then when Ichabod's like, yeah, Andy, let's go so you can talk to the horseman, Abby's like, you want to bring him to the horseman? I'm like, wasn't it your idea? And then second, Abby again is like, we should tell Jenny she'll want to see this. I'm pretty sure she said she'll want to see this. But then when Irving came with Jenny, she was like, you brought her here? I said just tell her, not, bring her to a meet and greet. I didn't understand. So Jenny's out. And so she gets apprehended, brought to the station. And Irving's like, so can you help or not? Because so far you're not showing me anything. And Jenny's like, yeah, I can help. And then he's like, oh, you got a problem with authority? I'm like, I could go there. And so then there's a 411, whatever. And they go visit Michaels or Douglas or whoever, George. And, they stole a Thracian something that can possibly undo the hex that's holding the horseman. And so then they figure out that, Jenny figures that out because she's so smart, that they're going to cut off the lights so that the UV rays will stop working and so the horseman will stop sizzling. I knew that plan wasn't going to work. It was taking days. And so, they run. Jenny's all geared up looking sexy. And Irving tells her to wait right here. She goes, wait. And so then someone tries to get the drop on Irving. He drops them. Meanwhile, Jenny's taking care of two people. And then, Irving's like, the next time I tell you to wait, just wait. But who's got time for that? She's doing work. She figures out that she sees a cell phone and knows that it means bomb. And then all of a sudden something explodes. And then, the lights get cut off and whatever. But, Ichabod was trying to have a grand old time with the interrogation, trying to be cocky and all that stuff. But I'm just like, I didn't even want to talk about that. Because, at first I was like, oh, that's so cute. He's being like, he's gloating. But I'm not about the whole won't take responsibility for cheating with Katrina and all that stuff. Oh, no, we weren't cheating. I was just trying to, advance women's rights. And, I'm just, I'm not into it. And so it turns out the Necromancer was Andy because, he can be used to talk to the dead. Okay, Ichabod and Abby and Irving are way too smart to have gone with the UV ray thing. And, I mean, I'm guessing they're saying that, if it wasn't for the power getting cut and, the whole Thracian disc unhexing thing, that the plan would have worked. But I'm like, y'all should have gone like, what? We need sunlight. Why would we then substitute UV rays? I feel like if it was direct sunlight, the horseman would have been dead. So they were too smart for that. They were also too smart to not have checked Andy as he's already inside. Why would you not? I feel like another show I would have forgiven it, but these people are smart. Abby is smart. Ichabod is smart. Irving is smart. Then Jenny comes in, she's smart. None of them thought to think, I mean, I know Abby patted Andy down, but come on now, you're working with magic and the supernatural and all that stuff. Come on. So Andy was the mule. He had the Thracian disc. He robbed the dude beforehand. He summons the Moloch's minions and all that stuff. The way they teleported out of that bay was cool. But yeah, this episode, I mean, it was fine, but I don't like the direction. Like, if it could just stop right there and not continue with the whole triangle. I can't believe they legit made a triangle happen. Legit. I can't believe it. But I mean, that's basically what I'm gonna say. My favorite scene was the minions disappearing with Brooks and the horsemen. When the horseman brought out the sword to duel Ichabod, I was like, and then I was like, oh, it's Abraham. I also love, the way that things exploded when they shot at them. I loved Abby going, Jenny, duck, and then shooting the thing. Love that. And that's pretty much it. I'm not looking forward to this Katrina Horseman Ichabod angle. I'm really, really not. Ichabod lost it and yelled at Abby. I was like, okay, you need to bring it all the way down. Okay? Because between the two of you, Abby's my favorite, so you need to keep it cute. So, those are my thoughts on the episode. Let me know what y'all think. I'm pretty sure a whole lot of people looked at this and were like, please no. Well, I'm there now, and I'm like, please no. So, that's it. Let me know what you think. And the next episode is Sanctuary, episode 9. I'll be watching that tomorrow. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.